Well, welcome everyone back to another market update here on Kitchen Table TCG. Hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to talk about Arcane Rising, but before we get into it, let me just show for myself a little bit. I do have a Patreon, and with that comes a collection tracker that utilizes all the data you're about to see for all the sets that I do updates on, which is every Flesh and Blood set. And in this collection tracker, it's a Google spreadsheet. You're able to add your values and it adds up and tells you the total, and those update every week whenever I do a video. So if you're interested in supporting the channel and content like this, and you are looking for a collection tracker for yourself, I really believe this is the best opportunity for that. Go to KitchenTableTCG.com in order to support the channel in that way. And then if you are looking for singles, Mitch over at the Midtown Merchant is a great friend. He has great singles and great prices and really great shipping and fast shipping. So make sure you shop over at the Midtown Merchant. Use your promo code BeKind to save $5 off your order of $50 or more. And if you are a patron, you get 10% off over at Midtown Merchant every month as well, which is super nice. And then if you want to buy cards on TCG Player, I do have an affiliate link on a link in the description of my videos, so that does help the channel as well. So let's hop into Arcane Rising and see if we can beat the EV right now. Around 90 bucks a box. Let's talk about like where unlimited boxes are. I think you'll start seeing some stores or pre-ordering. You're starting to see WTR and unlimited meat kind of down to the $85-$90 range, maybe even $80 from stores, depending on how patient you are and when they post them and things like that. So if you're looking to pick up boxes, this $90 price point comes from like eBay and TCG Player and things like that. So this is kind of secondary market. There are stores that you can pick it up around 80 bucks probably. So that seems to be where we're shooting for. And as we look at the Fable, the Eye of Ophidia sitting right around $500 again this week. These cards really top out at around $700, and then when product kind of enters into the fold again, like we're going to start seeing more product enter this week, I think they kind of dip down to the $500 range, and that is true with the Eye of Ophidia this week for sure, sitting around $500. There was one that sold on TCG Player for $540, but there's two other major sold listings at $500 as well. So looking at around $500 for the Eye of Ophidia. Legendaries, a lot of the same as was last week. We're just down 5% with your average legendary sitting at $134. Arcanite Skullcap is the main culprit there, going down to about $240. Same thing that happens with the Eye of Ophidia happens with the Skullcap all the time. Tecto Foundry Heart going down to $90, Skullbone Crosswrap at $110, Grasp at Arcanite at $130, and Storm Striders sitting in at around $100, which is actually up this week. So all in all, the market's gone down about 5% on the legendaries, with your average sitting at $134. If you want to see where we are on the graph, I mean, it just kind of chugs along there. It doesn't really fluctuate hardly at all, honestly. The Majestic Rainbow Foils, really no change at all. A little bit of an upward tick on Art of War, but really everything else is sitting pretty accurate to what it was. Mordred Tide went down a little bit. Right in the Ledger going up a little. It's just kind of stagnant. It is what it is. It is the Rainbow Foil Majestics. They don't move a ton with player base and that kind of thing. So average Rainbow Foil Majestic is sitting at $30.95. Looking at the non-foil Majestics, Command and Conquer has been a super popular card. It's lost about $5 each week. I wonder if this $80 price point that was 2 weeks ago isn't the top point for that. Especially as you look at the Rainbow Foil. It was, if you remember that week, I kind of talked about that the Rainbow Foil version was too close in price. Well, we're starting to see it go down a little bit, 75 and then 70 this week, whereas the Art of War is still kind of on its way up compared to those weeks as well. So interesting to see these two cards kind of meeting in the middle, as Command and Conquer is obviously the kind of pinnacle of the set, but Art of War has always kind of trailed behind it, starting to even out a little bit. I mean, still a divide, but it's the gap is closing for sure. The other Majestics really aren't moving hardly at all. You can see we had a little spike in the Majestics on the Monarch release, and I think that's due to players building new decks and kind of needing the cards to fill it out. So looking at the super rare Rainbow Foils, we're actually up 6% this week, but that's 20 cents. When it's this little bit of money, the percentages just don't mean that much, and there's really nothing interesting in the numbers in terms of specific cards going up or down. It's just kind of is what that is. And then the super rares are very similar. The non-foil ones, very similar, just up 1%, which really doesn't matter at all, and no real changes individually to card prices. So not a whole lot to talk about with Arcane Rising super rares. Just keep in mind on the rares and the commons, I just use TCG low, and we'll just talk about the rainbow foil rares, which are down 8% this week to an average of just under $1 at 93 cents. So let's go ahead and see where the EV calculation is. In each box, you can expect to get 42 rares, 4 foil rares, 4 super rares, 1 foil super rare, 2 majestics, and then you have a 1 in 10 chance of hitting a foil majestic. Sorry, 1 in 4 chance of hitting a foil majestic, 1 in 4 chance of hitting a legendary, and 1 in 40 chance of hitting that eye. And so that puts your 40 box average at $117.20. And your 1 box average is $71.20. And that's as a result of, you're not going to pull necessarily a legendary and a fable, or a fable. So if you want to kind of take that out of the odds, you can kind of expect more like $71 per box. So let's take a look at this 117.20 and see how that compared to last week. We are down 2%. That's 2 weeks in a row that we're down, but nothing drastic. And we're down 2% to this. So let's see the top 10 cards to gain or lose value. Really, your weekly gains are pretty nominal. Lesson in Lava on the foil side, up 42%. Ninth Blade of the Blood Oath up 22%, and Tome of the Arknight up 20%. Your non-foil gainers, Induction Chamber is seeming to be a pretty popular card this week. Tome of the Arknight and Blazing Aether, that's 59%, 42%, and 16%. As we go on to the cards that lost the most value, on the rainbow foil side, we had Mordred Tide, we had Chains of Eminence, and Grasp the Arknight down 16, 15, and 10%. And going to the top 10 non-foil losers, a lot of super rares on this list. Forked Lightning, Become the Arknight, and Endless Arrow all down 20% there. All right, let's go ahead and talk about first edition Arcane Rising. Let's see, on the sealed side of things, on first edition, I'm going to go ahead and say it's about the same as it was last week. And we had a huge kind of increased pressure when we all learned the print run was the same as WTR Alpha. And now we've kind of, like with the market and the Monarch stuff, kind of balanced out a little bit. We're getting closer to this prices that it was. So sitting around $3,000 here, which seems like it would be a floor. I know this is not supposed to be my opinions. I do have a podcast of which I do my opinions called If I Were Investing, as a part of my Patreon. But the box price is sitting at $3,000. There's 2 sold listings. This one, 4,200 Canadian, is around 3,400 USD. But this is Canadian sales, so it's really like the Canada market potentially. And then 2 sales this week as well at $3,000 is why I kept this at $3,000. I did not really take this into effect. And then on Facebook too, it's like people are trading a lot of sealed product, and that's kind of the pricing they're using is around $3,000. So as we continue to look into the Fable, no real news on the Eye of Ophidia. We talked about this last week. It's still sitting the same as it was. I would say if you're a buyer, you could start it out at like 16. I don't know that there's going to be anyone that's going to sell it below that, honestly. People who have them just don't have any incentive to sell them. Right now, the price of the cards is so much lower than anticipated. It's not even lower than anticipated. The market's just in a weird spot that like no one's paying more than has been paid in the past, and the market's just in a weird spot right now. I don't see any for sale, and I don't see anybody really offering to buy either at higher prices, kind of in the 20,000. So just keep that all in mind. If you're buying one of these cards, definitely do your own due diligence and whatever. That goes for everything. Always be doing your own due diligence. Don't just take my word for it. I just look up the prices and tell you what they are. So this changes all the time, and it changes day to day, not just week to week. So legendaries, could only really find one that sold this week, and that was a Skullbone cross wrap on the good old eBay. I didn't pull it up, but it sold for $1,900, which is $100 less than it sold for 2 weeks ago. So it kind of gives some solidification to the other prices of the cards. and that puts the average legendary at $2,235, which is down 1% there. Nothing again surprising. People who had the cards that had the soft hands that were going to sell have already done so. That's kind of where we got to this 2,000 price point. I mean, you see how many sold listings were here on the low end. This was the week when things kind of started to dip and to go down, these 3 weeks right here. And it doesn't seem like the people who have the cards now are willing to let them go at those prices. So that's just kind of seems to be what it is here. I mean, you can see this huge dip, and the amount of people who have, the cards now just don't want to let them go for that low. Looking at cold foil commons, lots of sold ones this week. We're actually up 1%, which is interesting on the cold foil commons because the rest of the market seems to be down. If you look them up, Achilles Accelerator, there will be one that sold for like 220, 230. The pictures looked like they were taken with a potato, and they just it did not look like it was in super good quality. And then on Facebook, there was some that sold in the $300 range. A lot of these 300 come from a big sale on Facebook. I'm not sure what happened behind closed doors, but these were the listed price. So I'm assuming that this is where they kind of started the negotiation with, and it was like a discount for buying multiple maybe. So I'm not sure exactly where those came from, but Braces of Belief, that's actually not a sold listing. That's a low listing that was lower than the number was before. So I brought it down. I just thought I'd disclose that. All in all, though, a lot of the cold foil commons are selling. Even eBay and TCG Player, they're pretty active this week, in an average of 335.42. So buyers and sellers able to kind of meet into the middle of that, and no real loss, no real gain. Kind of seems like we're getting to the end of the heavy losses. We'll see if this continues. Before I say that, I guess we'll see what happens. So, looking at the Majestic Rainbow Foils, if you saw it when I accidentally pulled up, there was one sold, which was a Sonic Boom at $245, which is pretty great to see another one of these Majestic Rainbow Foils that are so rare actually be sold. It helps us price the rest of them, and it seems like the rest of the price points are pretty in line. Sonic Boom, actually, that does go down because the sale for it was way back at the beginning of May, April, February, March, April, May. Yeah. So all the way back at the beginning of May. And so it's been a while since that sale happened, but $245 would be kind of in par with the other card prices. So all in all, that puts your average Majestic sitting at $456. That was the rainbow foil. Looking at the non-foils, lots of sold, lots of softness. Command and Conquer went down to 210. A lot of these are being moved on TCG Player. There's not a ton being moved on eBay, but there was a few new sales on TCG Player. Just different price points and different things moving or coming or going. Your average is sitting at $69.50, which is down 8%. And these have been pretty soft here. 4 weeks in a row of kind of just softer downturns, but that's coming off a good chunk of change that was kind of back and forth, and then a little rise. So maybe just a market retracement. Who knows? Looking at the super rare rainbow foils, I'm pretty sure there was none. Oh, no, there was a bunch. I'm sorry. I can't remember. Really interesting. A couple of them, actually, I wanted to say was Lesson of Lava. 4 weeks in a row. 4 weeks in a row. I don't know why that one's not green. 4 weeks in a row of, actually, it's not green because it's sold. Anyway, 4 weeks in a row of it moving. So kind of interesting to see that. Rapid Fire at 118, a Tome of the Arknight at 76, and Maximum Velocity at 100. So down 2%, but again, a lot of sold listings at prices that were very similar to the prices of these ones. So, it kind of solidifies the deals again and solidifies the prices. So sitting on an average rainbow foil of around $100. Looking at the super rares, again, a lot of cards moving. We're kind of down 5%. And these kind of, as I've said every other video, these always just kind of bounce up and down and up and down. There's really no rhyme or reason about it. It's just kind of the prices always bounce up and down. So Induction Chamber down to 13, Endless Arrow up to 20, Knock the Death Whistle down to 10, Rapid Fire to 10, Become the Arknight up to 9, Tome of the Arknight down to 12. They're just kind of all over the place, moving back and forth. No real rhyme or reason about it. And as we look at the rares, remember I just used TCG low here. So on TCG low on the rares, we are down, we're actually even, I'm sorry, we're even at 0% loss at $22.09. So sellers, buyers, not, you know, they're just meeting. There's, you know, nothing's really moving. The market, the Arcane Rising is a little bit tough of an update for me to do, honestly. It just is one of those sets that there doesn't seem to be the amount of singles in the market or the interest in the singles in the market. So it's kind of a weird thing. Like WTR just seems like there's more cards that move and flow amongst all the people buying. And here in the market, it just doesn't seem to be the case for Arcane. So anyway, rares sitting at an average of 130. Looking at the common rainbow foils, I just use TCG low. I take out any outliers. We're sitting at 749, or 794, which is actually down 4% from last week. So let's look at an EV calculation. Not much is going to change. We're sitting at a 40 box average. If you were to open 40 boxes, you'd be sitting at $2,216. And if you take out the, you know, the Fable and the legendaries, you'd be sitting at $1,036. Now, if you take out the just the non-foil commons, because they do technically have value on TCG Player, but it's gonna be hard to find somebody to buy them, you'd be sitting just over $2,000 at $2,008. So let's look at where that compares. 2008-01. That changed a little bit from when I did it. 2008-01. We're just down about 2%, which, you know, we've seen now 4 weeks in a row. This market is kind of dropping down here, and it'll be interesting to see whenever it kind of solidifies. So let's see the top 10 cards that gained or lost value. Null Rune Boots, a lot of cold foils on this list with those with that Facebook sale. Null Rune Boots up 36%, Vest of the First Vist up 30%, and Null Rune Hood up 15%. The non-foil gainers, Endless Arrow up 66%, Blazing Aether up 25%, and Become the Arknight up 12%. Sonic Boom, weekly foil losers, Sonic Boom, Rainbow Foil, you know, that it's down 43%. That's kind of one of those things where it's like, I would not look at that and be like, oh my gosh, my card just lost some value. Those kind of rainbow foils are all over the place because it takes a lot for somebody to sell one. One pops up on the market. If the price is around it, it just gets bought up. Tome of the Arknight down 18%, and Crown of Dichotomy, the cold foil, down 16%. The non-foil users are Three of a Kind, Tome of the Arknight, Induction Chamber down 40, 29, and 23%. So that's it. That's the market update for Arcane Rising today. I hope you guys have a great day. And again, if you're looking for a collection tracker, a way to manage your cards and see the values and kind of see everything all in one place, head on over to KitchenTableTCG.com, hit the Patreon link there, and you can see all the ways that you can support and all the benefits of being a patron. You do get, you know, access to my box and case breaks. You get access to the collection tracker. You get access to a Discord server, a great community. We play Armory events on Thursday nights and Sunday nights, and we're adding a European Armory event this month or next month, I think. We're in the process of figuring that out. We'll see if it comes to fruition or not, but it's a great community. It's a great place to hang out. And also make sure you're shopping over at Midtown Merchant and using my discount code or my affiliate link for TCG Player. All right, everyone, remember to be kind to the people around you, and thank you so much for watching the videos.